Hey, it's another beautiful day here, although I am rocking a little bit of the humid hair. For those of you who are based in Queensland, you'll understand what I mean, but a gorgeous day. One of the things I wanted to talk to you, well, the thing I wanted to talk to you about today is circulation versus reach and traffic. We get asked a lot by particularly celebrities or contributors that we're going out to with our magazines to request that they be a part of our magazine, what's your circulation? And that's a very typical question in traditional magazine world. So circulation basically means how many copies are you printing and putting out into the ether. There's also another figure that's quoted at times, and that's readership. And readership usually is how many times one copy, so if you produce one copy, how many times it's read. And the industry average is usually about 2.5. So, if you're producing 10,000 copies of a magazine, that's your circulation, and then readership would be about 25,000 on average. But now with the changing face of magazines, and particularly the way we produce magazines for our clients, not just in a print format, but digitally, we really don't want to talk in just circulation. It's a really old-fashioned way of thinking about magazines. What we want to talk about is reach or target, or, to use the SEO online and digital AdWords is eyeballs. How many eyeballs are seeing the content that we're producing? So we try, when we're producing a magazine, to worry about that, the reach, the target, and the eyeballs that we're going to achieve for not only our clients, but for any contributor that's giving up their time to be interviewed by us and to contribute their wisdom and words of wisdom, and to make it really worth their while to be a part of our magazine. We want to look at the reach and the target and the eyeballs. So how do we do that? Well, there's a number of ways that we sort of activate, eyeballs for our magazines. The first one is through obviously the magazine itself. So producing the magazine in not only a printed format for some of our clients, but all of our clients, producing a magazine digitally allows us to share that magazine digitally with the world. So instead of if we're based in Australia, just being able to produce enough to capture such a tiny market in Australia, we're able to let that magazine reach out into the ether. So we can then track that reach, target, or eyeballs using the software that comes along with many of the digital magazine platforms that you can use to produce a digital magazine, like Issuu, and I've mentioned that before in a live, ISSUU. So that will tell you how many people have read it, how long they've read the magazine for, what pages they hung out on. So it gives us some really, really good stats. I had a gentleman on a previous live say to me, or one of our posts on Magazine Marketing Machine page, magazine advertising is dead. And he was thinking that what we were talking about was producing or, telling people to go and put ads in magazines, and it's simply not the case. We're talking about a magazine marketing machine for our clients. So one of the ways we obviously create that marketing machine is to use the magazine itself. The next thing we do is we break apart the magazine, and again, I've talked about this in previous lives, where we take each of the articles and we turn it into, posts and memes and quotes and all different things, so that we can get more eyeballs onto our content, and that gets us more reach, and people are sharing it. So social becomes a really big part of our circulation strategy, both paid and organic. So, not only are we getting reach by putting it on our own pages and paying to have people see our content, but we're also working with really great contributors that are happy to share their message with the world and help us to spread ours too. And that's the really great win-win that we produce with our contributors. The other way is through our engagement that we put in the magazine. So we're not just talking about, yes, we want people to turn the pages of the magazine, but we also want them to engage with that. So whether that's through lead magnets, so most of you know what a lead magnet is. It's, an ad where we can do something to, give something away and get people to give us their details, like an ebook or whatever it might be. We also run competitions to further enhance that engagement. So we're getting people to engage with the magazine. And then, of course, we also look at subscriptions. So we do offer, free subscribe now for free, and you could win, and incentives for people to actually physically subscribe to the magazine, so that then we can keep them up to date through emails with regular content. So you've got email lists, and you're building tribes through social. You're also engaging them through the digital format of the magazine, and you can still use your traditional magazine circulation of a physical copy of a magazine. We also look at strategic partnerships, and one of the greatest marketing methods I've ever used in any business I've been a part of or for clients is the JV or joint venture / strategic partnership. So that is the way I look at joint ventures. Is I sit down and I consider our perfect customer and who they are, and then I ask myself, who's already talking to that customer that I'm not in competition with, that I can work with for mutual benefit. And the great thing about a magazine is that these strategic partners, you can offer them something really powerful. So you can say, look, if you're prepared to share, share your wisdom in our magazine, we're prepared to share that article with the world. And this is how we're going to do that, through social media, through, all different methods to get your message out there and get our magazine out there. The other way that we create circulation is through PR. So we actually do press releases at every launch of every issue of our new magazine. So we put out press releases to the media. We create a specific database for our particular clients in their niche, and then we push out to the media, about specific articles within the magazine. We create different hooks that we think the media might like to pick up on. For example, Youth in Business magazine, a press release we wrote was about teen entrepreneurs and the rise of teen entrepreneurs, and I think our headline was how teens are now earning more than their teachers before they finish school. So obviously that's an interesting article for a newspaper, and we were contacted by, I think it was the Herald's Sun and the Age on the press release we wrote around that magazine. So, we don't just sit back, print copies, drop them out to, news agents or, locations, physical locations, and sit back and hope that our magazine gets reach and engagement and traffic. So, that's, I think, the flaw in the traditional magazine method, and I know some magazines are evolving, but many miss that boat. They miss the memo, a bit like a Kodak. They miss the memo that things were changing, and I think they really could have capitalised on the content in their magazine instead of worrying about the traditional way. I mean, my role in magazine publishing was a circulation manager, and my role in its traditional sense is almost, not quite non-existent for all my mates who are still circulation managers, but it's certainly a different role, and you've got to be a lot more dynamic, and it's not so much now about circulation, but it's about reach and eyeballs and real engagement and traffic that you're looking for as a magazine publisher now. So, when we quote circulation, we don't actually quote circulation. We like to quote reach, engagement and eyeballs, because that's more important to our magazine. And the primary focus of our magazine and my primary role with our clients is to make sure when we're producing a magazine that we're not just producing a magazine, that we're producing a magazine marketing machine that goes well beyond the day the magazine launches and is out in the ether, reaching out and capturing as many eyeballs as we possibly can so that our client's message gets read. So